Alrighty. As you were introduced to this secret keeper, Mish, sitting in the circle of individuals, besides Yora and the masked individuals, you do also see as he announces himself by slamming a heavily furred arm onto one of the tables and knocking the drinks aside. You see a massive MIDI-like figure is your first impression. Furred head to toe, and at first you think it's another Urso, but as you get a glance underneath the cowl, the dark navy cloth of this figure sort of bundled up, big bad wolf style. It is a big bad wolf. You see the elongated lupine snout underneath the hood, snarling up into a aggressive posture. As you'll hear him say, "This is not Tough Hide, woman. You promised me Tough Hide." At which Yora will turn and sort of raise her hands placatingly. "Be at ease, my friend. We will obtain your quarry soon. This was just the one I could grab." At which you will see the two of them resume arguing, this cloaked figure, not having much of her excuses, as you then hear in your head Vanali's voice saying, "Hey, you cool, bro? You up?"
New brain, who this?
Response is, secret keeper, am screwed, possible hostage. It has to be under 10 words, right?
25.
Oh, okay.
Help.
I did
So-
also ask if there was anything around you that we could use to try to help find you, but I'm guessing that's not gonna work.
I mean, looking around, the only thing she can see is like a bar, the way you described, like a bar-like setting.
Yeah,
It's almost like
it looks like an adventurer's dive bar, almost.
Is there any flags, anything that would identify like where she is?
Make an investigation check.
Okie doke. Come on, brain dead, don't act up now. God damn it.
No thought, head empty.
Yeah, you're kind of too freaked out at the circumstances you found yourself in that nothing's sticking out. I will say, you recognize the masked figures as near enough identical to the people you all fought the previous night.
Okay, so she has 25 words. So same group as before. One angry werewolf. What did she say her name was?
Yora.
Name of one name, Yora. Tavern. Like, she'll say tavern as like there's a question mark and please help.
Did you include Secret Keeper or no?
Yeah, she did.
Okay. I will relay all of that to the group as I return from my lookings around. If I had to wager a guess, I'd assume she was teleported somewhere, because unless anybody has any particularly keen insight into the fog, I can't imagine that there's a tavern right on the edge of it here.
Can't say that I know too much in how that kind of stuff works. But I reckon you're right. There's low chances that there's a bar around here. Well, maybe the ruins of one. But regardless, it sounds like she still has her memories, so I take it she's not in the fog then.
That's a good point, and she didn't mention being in the fog, so I don't think it's like in the tavern with her. So further reinforces the idea that she was brought somewhere else. Don't like these secret keepers. It's a bit more than a bit concerning that she was whisked away so easily.
Well,
Was
you
it
got the name,
easily,
right?
though? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No.
What do these secret keepers got against us now?
We pissed off the Dreaming Queen.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
I don't know if I'd call that fair.
Yeah. As you're sort of ruminating on this, Connery, you can't shake the discomfort of realizing that you recognized that voice that you heard when the train was defeated.
Is it just like a vague recollection that I've heard that voice somewhere before, or is it like I know who this belongs to?
You don't you cannot produce the face, but you know that it's not something that you remember from any time since the group found you in Pandemonium. It is the first, as far as you're aware, genuine memory of your life before that has surfaced.
Okay.
Did the name Yora mean anything to him?
No, I wouldn't say so.
So he might probably mentions that he's heard that voice somewhere, but he can't remember where. He said he knows it's from before the fog.
Correct. You're not sure how long before, but you definitely, it's a memory from your old life.
So he's gonna mention that. He's gonna like kind of scratch his chin and just go, I definitely heard that voice somewhere before. Just not entirely sure where.
Mish, you as the Lupo continues to argue with Yora, you'll see him suddenly lunge towards you, and these two taloned claws, which are each like his palms, are like each as big as your head, will scruff the front of your clothes and bodily like lift you up to where you are dangling a foot above the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll lean in real close, and sort of this warm breath is just washing over your face as he'll growl, "Where is Tough Hide?"
Oh, buddy, back up a bit. I can't really breathe.
He'll like move his arms to hold you like 6 inches further away from him. "Where is my prey?"
Appreciate it. Okay. You wouldn't be happy to be talking about Middendorfy, would you?
he'll like huff in an animalistic way, and you'll see his his snoot move as he'll say, "I want Tough Hide. Winter's chosen. I kill."
Oh. Okay. You're there's kind of a line. Wouldn't you believe it? A lot of people are trying to kill him.
You'll see the secret keeper sort of saunter forward and put a very tiny hand on his shoulder compared to his size, as she'll say, "Ironclaw, my son, please calm down. Your quarry will come to you. I told you that."
And actually, I can back that up. If you just actually challenge him, he will fight you. He won't say no.
Mish knows me so well.
The Lupo huffs and sort of drops you and pulls the cloak tighter amongst himself. He better. My patience grows short, witch woman. And as he turns and starts like bodily shoving tables and chairs out of the way to leave, you see getting a good look at his exposed arm as he leaves Mish. He's covered in a sort of dark brown, almost gray, matted fur. But you see the faintest traces of like a tribal pattern of swirls that's crawling up one of his arms that it seems like almost to give off a sort of warm orangey light as he pulls out of the room.
Is there a scent of either like fallen leaves, or is there a scent of how do I put this? What's the summer scent?
I'll say the only scent you get from him is wet dog.
Oh, okay. But
But
given his
That's sent by now.
almost like death-like determination to fight Midi, Mish will actually cough a bit and look up and just say, "So I take it he's a child of summer?"
Yora puts one hand on her hip and kind of like cocks it to the side and says, "Frankly, I haven't the foggiest and couldn't care less, but he wants to kill one of you, so that's why he's here."
Yeah, well, fair enough, I suppose.
You see Ironclaw hesitate at the doorway. He turns and like sniffs aggressively a few times. Some of the different Order of Silence members look back at him, sort of confused, and with a loud growl, you'll see him swing his arm at the wall, and it will impact with a sickening crunch of wood as he puts the entire claw through the wall and like rips a giant 6-foot tear into it, revealing like an empty hallway on the other side, and the single like butler who has a plate of drinks that he has spilled all over himself in terror,
Okay.
who will promptly flee and run, at which Ironclaw will withdraw his hand and no, and he'll turn and leave.
That was almost unnecessary.
Almost?
But, you know, hey. At least he's dedicated.
Yora will shrug. It's not usually our practice to work with beastkin like him, but strength he certainly does not lack.
And Mish, seeing the damage, no, he does not.
The camera will pan to the hallway, looking back into the room that you're in, Mish, and it will see laying down against the floor, right underneath the impact of the claw. An invisible Tabitha clutches her book to her chest, breathing very slowly and shallowly, and thinking in her head, "Oh, that was close."
Wait, Tabitha?
Mm-hmm.
Add a character. I think I know where Mish is now.
Okay, so what is the survived the train group doing?
Well, if there's no immediate threat, we could probably just take a short rest rather than spending spells or drinking potions.
You're out in open countryside, but you don't see or hear any other creatures or people around.
I mean, we need to come up with some sort of plan, so I guess a short rest would be helpful.
All right, well, you guys take a short rest then, so you can spend your hit die, and I think yeah, you recover any key you spent, Juju.
I didn't spend any key in this one, I think. Oh, wait. Never mind. So I can spend a hit die to get some life back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it seems you guys have been dropped off. You're not entirely sure where. You'll have to march back the direction you were coming from, but you can still find the rail line. So you know that you're not too far off course, but you're not sure exactly how far from your destination you are at this point.
I guess it's time to start walking.
Oh, wow.
That's a nice die.
And Connery, don't forget your max hit points are 10 above normal, so you could heal over your normal if you wanted.
I don't remember what my normal is anymore. Shit. I think I forgot to update the one number when I leveled up.
I can tell you. What is your Constitution modifier? Like the small number for con?
Easy to.
2, so you should have 45 max HP, I believe, right?
Okay.
Does that include the 1 point bonus from D's Magic Nuts?
Oh, you're right, 46.
Oh my lord. Did you seriously just do that?
God damn it, Finale.
So then I should have 24, because I have 14 plus the 10 from Finale. I think.
However you want to handle that, yeah.
And temporarily, for the next 7 hours, your max would be 55 instead of 45.
56, yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because the D's nuts.
Clantus, grab these nuts.
But otherwise, you guys are free to do whatever you decide.
Well, I don't see any way faster to get where we need to go other than by walking, unfortunately.
No, you're a magic man thing person. Is there any way that you could, I don't know, see if it left some sort of magical tracks that we could follow or something? Whatever it is that apparently absconded with our little cat friend?
Not especially, no.
He
The best
wasn't
we
able
can
to.
do is to just keep checking in occasionally and seeing if the situation has changed.
He wasn't able to give any information that could clue us into where he is.
And we do have the talisman still. We could poke around in the fog for a bit, but I don't know if that's necessarily wise. And like you said, the fog would have been visible to her if she was in it in this tavern.
Certainly is a situation.
If they used magic to abscond with her, she could literally be anywhere.
Well, I guess all we can do for now is try and find the tracks and follow them back to, what was the place we were going called?
To Twain?
Yeah, to Twain.
Sadly, I don't seem to have the spell Summon Train prepared, so I think
Oh.
we're just going to have to walk.
Yeah.
Can Connery climb back onto Mitty's shoulders again?
Sure.
Hell yeah.
Arguably the fastest of everyone is the one taking a ride. All right, so you guys pick up after a bit of a rest where you catch your breath and heal some of the wounds from the unexpected fight. Um, take off marching back in the direction of the tracks to try and continue your journey. By this point, as you guys get a move on, it'll already be late into the morning. Some of the overhanging clouds burning off in the sun so that the plains ahead of you are well illuminated. You can see the green grassland and rises of stone that gradually leads you towards what you can see in the distance, quite a ways off still, are the mountains that make up the sort of backbone of Twain.
You know, it occurs to me, if we did want to pop into the fog, we could try to find another arcanery. That would certainly be a way to get their attention.
And a good way to get ourselves killed.
I mean, we didn't get killed last time.
Well,
What are the odds all of the fog dragons will be impossible to reason with? All we have to do is work on Connery's singing.
I, for one, don't trust the state these talismans are in. Besides, we were told that they were looking for us in Twain.
That is true.
There's a probability that they might be there. And also, you said Tabitha was there too, right? Might be able to get some backup just in case.
So the original idea was to lay low, knowing that our enemies were there looking for us, but given the circumstances, perhaps we should raise a bit of a ruckus once we get there.
Oh yeah, no, that was going to happen regardless.
Well, just bear in mind my parents are also there, and I'd rather not have them dead. Or used against me as leverage.
Oh, we better start moving then.
All right, so the majority of the party will begin the travel on foot the rest of the way to Twain. In the intervening time, Mish, as people begin to file out of the room that you are being held in, at length you are allowed up off of the floor, allowed to sit at one of the tables, and you are presented with a plate of food and drink, and you're sort of left to your own devices, but never completely out of yours eyeshot.
So I think that this should have this goes without saying, but when the moment Mish landed and the moment the wolf guy put her down, Charity is back in its sheath and unequipped. Like it's on her back now. Or unless they took
Alrighty.
Charity.
They have not disarmed you.
So yeah, because there was no real fight, despite the rather abrupt, you know, demands by the wolf guy over there or the Lupo. Yeah, she didn't lash out at him, and she just unequips her weapon, just puts it away, because fighting here probably wouldn't be worth it.
And worth remembering, how much HP were you left with?
Yeah, I was at 10.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
you're very bloodied as you were sitting here at this dimly lit tavern table eating a plate of bacon and some sort of oatmeal type gruel.
And she's just happy to have something in her stomach because she's still suffering from a hangover. Well, huh. It's as she's eating, she's just looking around. Can she make another attempt at an investigation?
Sure, I'll allow that.
Please, brain, work for once.
Okay. You don't notice a ton. It looks like a sort of quiet eatery that you would expect to find even in Defiance. You do gather as you sort of scope the place out and start to get a impression of the place's layout that you seem to be on an upper floor, perhaps. You're not at the ground level.
Mm-hmm.
Something else that will catch your attention despite the relatively low roll because of how out of place it is. You quickly realize that the lighting in this room is provided by these glass orbs that are dangling from the ceiling that seem to have no discernible power source or flame, but are giving off a warm, bright white glow.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Huh.
As
So
you
there's
sit,
not even. Oh, go ahead.
as you sit there and sort of ponder them for the first time in 10 minutes, you'll see a miniature lightning bolt, like the tiniest little spark of blue electricity, come in through the window, hit one of the orbs, it will brighten a bit, arc to the next orb until it carries out beyond the room from which you can see.
Nikola Tesla would be proud.
Yeah. Okay. That's interesting. It's there's not even any sports ball banners in this tavern area that she's sitting at?
Not especially. You will see. I'll say you manage to nick what looks like a newspaper off of one of the other tables, and briefly reading it, it seems to be local news talking about how Old Irons is still being occupied. The trading guilds are up in arms about it and are demanding that Baron Herschel do something about it sometime soon. To which the Baron refused to give comment.
But hey, that is a name to relay when she ever gets a message.
So, given where you grew up and some of the context clues you're getting from myriad sources, you believe you are in Twain based on what you've heard of Twain, but you've never been to Twain. Does that make sense?
Right.
So you're definitely in a foreign feeling place, but it's striking enough of the things you've heard about the sister city state to Defiance.
Okay.
But as you sit and eat, you are undisturbed as the only one. There are still some Order of Silence members that are filtering in and out and will say a few words to Yora as they go about their business. But the Secret Keeper is the only one who stays a couple of tables away from you and sits there and just watches you the entire time.
Okay. Like, Mish eventually finishes eating and just drinks whatever water that they put in front of her.
No, it's not
And
water, it's good, like, strong beer.
oh, that's not good for hangover. Like she looks up, like as much as I enjoy Nick Spears the next cat, can I get a water, please?
What?
You sort of say that into the empty air, and no one seems to respond to you.
And she looks up, excuse me. Hello? And she looks, I'm assuming there's just this one guy just sitting there just watching her.
The Secret Keeper is.
Like she just like waves him over like, "Hi. Can I get some water, please?"
Um, Yora will not get up from her chair, quirk an eyebrow at you, and sort of shake her head no.
Oh, for the Okay.
Not have a water skin.
She'll pat herself on like, "Oh yeah, it's in her adventures kit." Okay. She'll just shrug and just like take a sip, like, okay. And she'll just like, are there any windows in this area?
There is one.
Like, she moves to get up and walk to a window, but is she stopped?
No, no one stops you.
Okay. And she just looks out the window.
You look out and you see a cluster of low, dark wooden buildings built sort of like Louisiana style. Everything's on stilts and raised walkways, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because underneath that, you see murky, swampy water, bog still, that everything sort of built up on top of. And you see plenty of people moving rapidly up, from building to building. What also catches your eye are every couple of buildings or so, you'll see these like metal antennas sticking up, just sort of like God reached down and placed them into the wood of that building. And every few minutes, there's more of those like lightning bolts will arc between them and just disappear between where you can't see anymore.
Huh. Okay. I'm assuming like those bursts of lighting just power these houses.
As far as you can tell.
Okay. Huh. Um. So seeing that, like Mish is just like I'm assuming she hasn't seen anything like this back in Defiance.
No, this level of technology is very different from Defiance's own sort of industrialization.
Hmm. Because, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the first thing I thought of when you described this was like Frankenstein's, or like in the movie, how they reanimated Frankenstein's monster.
I mean,
Whatever.
Azur said it. This place is powered by Tesla's wireless electricity idea.
Ah. Okay. Um. So Mish will actually like limp back to her seat and just look around, and like she's mumbling a small prayer of protection or whatever constitutes as a prayer of protection within the Church of Vegetaeus.
Alrighty.
And she's just like keeping an eye out for anything that could catch her eye, basically. Because I know you said it was the camera that panned out that a third party could see, but not Mish specifically.
Correct, yeah.
Okay. Um, and she's gonna look towards to where that one Lupo literally tore a hole in the wall. And can she see anything outside?
The hole in the wall leads, like, you can see into a hallway connected to the side of the room.
Oh, so it's just a hallway, there's nothing else.
Correct. But as you finish eating and start to sort of just sit there, Yora will get up from her seat, sort of saunter over to you, and place a hand on the back of your chair. All finished.
Yeah, thank you, by the way. I appreciate that.
Nothing has been done, so think nothing of it. But if you are ready, we'll depart now.
Okay.
So she'll let you stand from the chair and begin to lead you uh, out of the room into the hallway that you can see the room you were just in through the wall, downstairs into a more active tavern below, but eventually out into the streets and out into the open air of Twain.
Okay, so now it's at this point now I get the title card that confirms it.
Correct. And as you head out into the hustle and bustle, you and Yora become flanked with a couple of the Order of Silence members, and the question maybe comes up of where you're going.
Mm-hmm.
To which Yora will respond, "We're going to have a quick meeting with the Trade Baron ahead of the rest of your group arriving. He'll want to see you in person."
Yeah. And like that just leaves Mish very confused. Why would a trade baron want to talk to her?
All right, so we leave Mish with a question mark above her head. To the other group, you guys travel for a couple hours into the early afternoon before you eventually follow the tracks well enough to where you recognize where you are, Finale, as you have traveled this way a number of times before growing up. You hit the what is known as the tongue twister, Ruin Run Rise.
You did this to yourself.
Yes, I did. Which is, hey, let me open the map here. So, if you will zoom in on where Twain is, you will see that it is caught between where the Worm's Ravel becomes a lake and a chain of mountains to the west of it that are known as the Barrier Peaks.
I'm still on the title card.
Yeah, map's not open for me.
Sorry, I moved myself. I didn't move everyone. So the shore that Twain shares with the Ravel is not the bank of a lake. It is a cliff over which a series of waterfalls drip that feed the Ravel. So there are two slopes that lead up to Twain, which is situated at the apex of this cliff. The Ruin Run, which is the southern rise that leads into the Drake Hunt, or the Shield Slope, which is the northern slope that leads up into the Beastkin Heartland. So you reach the Ruin Run, which you reach the branching point where the train tracks continue into a tunnel within the actual barrier peaks themselves, leading up into the mountains. Whereas individual travelers typically take a road further to the east up the Ruin Run properly to reach the front gates of the walled city that is Twain.
Well, we could waltz in the front door, or we could go along the tracks if we wanted to enter the city a little more quietly.
Worth noting that if you go into the train tunnel, it was not designed for foot travel.
Yeah, so if a train comes while we're in there, splatto.
Well,
The party was never heard from again.
Can you imagine winning against a train in a train fight only to get fucking hit by a train later?
No, then in that case, you just have to do the Final Fantasy VI method where Connery and Mitty both suplex the train. You just suplex that one.
Really sad no one tried to grapple the train in that fight.
To be fair, we weren't in front of it. We were already on it. It seemed a bit redundant to try to grapple it. Oh, that would have actually been probably the only time in the history of D&D that the grappler feat, with the fact that you become restrained at the same time, would have been worth using. Can't get knocked off a train if the train is restrained you.
Well, I say we go through the front door.
Well, they'll probably be expecting us, but that may work in our favor since we don't really know where to look for them, assuming that Mish is even here. Or maybe we'll get lucky and we'll run into Tabitha.
Both of those options are equally pleasant.
Alright, you guys continue forward and begin to make your way up the relatively steep incline of the Ruin Run. This road, despite being very well worn, gives you guys definitely a bit of a calf workout as you hike up it for the better part of the evening. the grade of this trail is a bit higher than beginner level. But as you pass it, you'd quickly become not the only ones on the road. You see merchants' carts and farmers carrying their wares and sort of open-topped trailer, like whatever the fantasy equivalent of that is, carts or however. You see as you continue up that the Ruin Run is not what's the word? It's not just a road. You see small little homesteads and grain mills and things like that, situated off the side of the road proper, that are using the available land, filling the space up. As you move now as part of more of a tide of people up towards Twain proper, with the sun setting overhead, you begin to get your first look, for some of you, at the walls of the city. To the left of all of you, the west, as you've sort of marched up this slope, you've seen the extremely tall, jagged peaks of the barrier peaks rise to above you, cutting off some of the sun even earlier than it should in this time frame. Compared to the smoother, rounded tops of the Cradle Midi, these peaks seem almost angrier and more like sharply carved from the earth than the comforting presence of your home. They're very jagged and rise even taller, seeming to like scrape at the clouds above you.
Like, what was that place in Outlands? Never mind.
But and to your east, you've seen a bit of a ways away the cliff edge gradually rising with you as you rise in elevation above the Ravel. And even before you get to the city proper, you can hear the low rush of waterfalls, the sound of water cascading off the edge.
Wonder if
You-
you could see that dang dragon from up here. Sorry, yeah.
No, you're fine.
This place seems slightly more habitable than Defiance. Only slightly.
You know, on the one hand, it occurs to me that we could potentially ask these travelers if we can purchase some cloaks with which to disguise ourselves, but on the other hand, Vinali just kind of turns and looks at Mitty.
And I will say, Mitty, you've been attracting a few stares from passerbys.
Mid is more than used to it at this point.
Work it, maybe.
A few carts either speed up or slow down to get ahead of your party as they notice the riffraff of a composition.
Yeah. To anybody that's like staring super intensely and Middy's able to catch them, he'll just give them a big old bear smile.
You think you're smiling, in the meantime, there's like foam dripping from the corners of your mouth.
Oh god, he's
Several-
rabid.
I will
Several
be once I hit
damn
level
crowds
10.
that day. Oh god.
I literally get to deal psychic damage to people. I get, or make them attack their allies. I get rabies.
That's not something to be proud of.
Listen, I get rabies.
Mitty's just like, hey, can you do this? And just starts foaming at
Alright, you eventually get your way to the actual gates proper, although you're still 100 feet back, as there seems to have been a rather large queue that has formed. looking ahead, you can see walls probably a couple stories high, actually, that span all the way from the foothills of the barrier peaks all the way to the east where the cliff's edge is, which is quite a span, probably good half mile or so. So this place is definitely built up and has spared little in the way of security. You would know, Finale, that a similar fortification protects Twain from the north that has essentially ensured that the city bisects the continent such that there's no super safe way to travel north to south without passing through Twain.
But there are dangerous ways.
You could swim through the raffle.
Anyone fancy a dip?
Want to run into that dragon again?
Yes.
You
I just
already
love
collected
how-
the color from it. You caught that Pokemon. Let's move on.
Gotta catch 'em all. Fogland dragons.
As you guys wait somewhat patiently for the queue to progress, eventually you make your way towards the front of the line where you see the gate with a heavy iron portcullis lifted, so allowing people inside, and it is guarded by probably half a dozen down here guards that you recognize, Finale, as members of the Sky Patrol, which would make the sort of foot soldier town guard type figures of Twain. And
Okay.
probably another dozen up on the wall who have their rifles and other firearms trained down on you all.
Scary.
You are approached by one of the guardsmen who sees your party come forward, and he'll say, "What's your business with the he'll sort of eye the non-human members of your party with a wary eye. What business do you have in Twain, outsiders?"
Well, I'm here to visit family.
Yes, we're here to visit his family.
Really? And you'll see him sort of raise a hand and sort of wave forward, and a couple more guards approach. Don't suppose this family of yours live anywhere close? Could come vouch for you?
I definitely put on incredibly haughty airs and try and play up how important my family is.
Do you know who I am?
Yeah, literally doing the, do you have any idea who I am?
Obviously not.
Look, not exactly standard that this kind enters from the southern gate, so pardon if we take a few precautions.
At this kind? Wow.
Shush, you're not there. Shush, you're dead. Well, the fact that they're entering with me from the southern gates should be enough to prove to you that they are with me, they are my traveling companions. If this was some sort of a sneak attack, don't you think we would have come in from the north?
We are his guard since he's so important.
As you guys are saying this, you're now surrounded by the full half dozen of the guards who approach and will say, if you will, and one of them will approach you, Mitty, and begin to sort of raise his arms at you as to prepare to pat you down.
Go ahead.
These
But you're
shoulders.
gonna need bigger hands than those.
Okay, so as you guys are having this conversation, Mitty is being slowly patted down by two different guards.
You know, Mitty, it occurs to me. I mean, obviously, I'm not saying this out loud, but it occurs to me if you wanted to hide something sneaking into a place like this, the top of your head would probably be the best place to put it.
Just wear a giant hat and put it under there.
I don't think you even need that. Just balance it on top. No one will see.
We need a rope.
But one of the ones that's been speaking to you, Finale, will say, "You don't happen to have any identification papers or citizenry records, would you?"
Would I?
You said you lived here, so you should
Yeah.
have your gate, the pass you use to get in and out of the city gate.
Yeah, I would present that then.
Okay, you present your papers, and he'll take them and start reading through them. Still seems wary initially, but as he begins to piece through their authenticity, you see some of his tension drain.
I'm also trying my best to gauge his reaction as he reads it to see if, like, my name is on a list of any kind that he might have reacted to when he saw it.
Are you on a list?
Make an insight check for me.
Alrighty. Yeah.
You definitely get the feeling that they are very suspicious of you all, but you're not exactly able to pinpoint one reason why.
Meanwhile, there's a big ol' reason getting patted down by
It's the bear.
multiple guards.
It's the wolf man.
The Wolfman's still riding on the Bear Man's shoulders.
Oh no, they made you get down.
No.
One of them, female guard, will come forward with like two large, like empty trays and hold them out to you all. Disarm all implements of war and damaging.
I have none of that.
How do you want me to take off my hands?
Yeah. Give me a knife, I'll cut off my hands real quick.
Kind of like put them out for emphasis.
The good thing about Conrad is that he doesn't carry weapons. So there's nothing for people to be suspicious of. He's just him.
He's just a
And
good
he's
dog.
not a giant bear to scare people.
But yeah, Mitty will follow through and disarm, and he will hand every single axe that he has on his person over.
I was gonna say, like,
I've got so many axes.
Connery may not be carrying any weapons, but I have 4, 5, 6 different blades I have to give them. And the jelly poppers.
Does crackle fungus and the potion of fungus count as weapons?
They don't, but as you start to take your things out and they make you go through your belongings, the female guard will sort of look at your pouch containing that and sort of turn her nose up at it, turn to the guard speaking of Vanali. They have some contraband, sir.
Contra what?
Y'all have something against fungus?
What's wrong with fungus?
Well, it's a controlled substance in Twain.
Controlled for what?
The fact that it's a highly addictive natural substance.
Addictive? Are we supposed to eat this?
She'll sort of look at you like you've grown a third head and is like, what have you been doing with it?
Gave it to the horses.
wait, what?
Yeah, we should have.
Remember?
That would have been
I've
amazing.
done that going through the fog. Give the crackle fungus to the horses.
No,
We
we gave him
mentioned that.
speed though.
Yeah, we mentioned that like when we first got it, that we could give it to the horses to make them go faster.
Did we? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a treat. Just
That was the go juice or whatever that was.
go.
We had some sort of like haste concoction.
It was the fungus, wasn't it?
Was it?
The
Yeah.
crackle fungus makes you go fast.
Oh, I guess it is. Yeah, we gave it to the fucking horses then.
Yeah, it made them go
That's
zoom.
great.
It
We
made
still have two left.
Yeah, I think. I remember
I'll
who?
take
Maybe
it
it was Mish that kept it, but Mish's father figure also gave you a dried serving of it.
yeah, which I still have.
You fucking,
Joke's on them, we already have the substance inside.
Yeah, you're smuggling an illegal drug.
This is just the
Hey, to be
decoy.
fair, I didn't. To be fair, I didn't drag myself in there. Their secret keepers dragged them in.
All according to Kaikeku. MIDI note, Kaikeku means plan.
Does it? I had no idea.
Oh yeah.
All
I was
according to
gonna say
Cake.
something. I was gonna say something. Oh wait, no, you're memeing.
As a side note, MIDI, while you're handing over all your axes and weaponry, if Venali sees you reach for Numa, he is going to put a hand on your arm and shake his head.
Oh yeah, no, MIDI's not gonna hand over Numa. Yeah, so he'll start with putting the shield on there. That probably weighs a bit. And then he's going to start piling hand axes. He's got 6.
One at a time.
Oh my god, the
Yep.
poor guard having to
Yep.
carry all this.
Yeah, and then he will hold the great axe above the pile and then just drop it into it.
You know, it takes.
Harry's just gonna climb onto the pile and sit on top. So the body is a weapon.
It takes like 3 guards like running a train to eventually deprive you all of your weapons and contraband.
Oh wait, hold on, I think I have another axe somewhere.
Yeah. When we leave.
Sorry, what was that?
Can we have that back when we leave? I want that crackle fungus back.
The female guard will look at you. If you want to ruin your life outside of Twain, you can do that.
Well, yeah, when we leave, can I have it back so I can do that?
When you come back through customs, we'll check you out. You'll have to pay the holding fee.
What was that?
What was that?
Sounded like a cat through a very distorted microphone.
He's making noises.
Who is?
Spaz.
His cat
Oh.
bear.
Aww. I'll worry about that later.
Okay. At length, though, you are interrogated and made to look through all of your belongings. Let's see. You will have to MIDI. How would you like to hide Numa? Because they will ask you to explain it.
Turn it into a dagger, that'd be easier to hide.
I mean, it's just a handle, right?
Yeah, correct. It's like I don't know.
Put it on your head.
2 feet long, multi-metallic, clockworky like rod.
And he is known for his ability to lie.
It's a fishing rod. It's a fancy fishing rod.
He'll just say it's a hilt that he damn it. It's a hilt that he found during one of the battles that he was in. And it looked neat, so he kept it as a trophy.
Okay, so that will
It's a keepsake.
make me a deception check.
Oh yeah, I'm fucking amazing at these. I'm trying to find deception.
Since I already was touching Mitty's arm to stop him, can I give him guidance?
You can try.
Not going to help.
Might turn it into a 10, you never know.
Maybe.
You can roll a bonus d4. Yeah,
It's
an
an 8. Yeah.
Yeah, the guards hear your explanation and are also sort of picking up on Benali seemingly trying to have you keep it. Will just sort of jiggle the tray at you and say, we'll keep it just to be safe.
You would deprive me of my right of conquest?
You're welcome to claim all of your checked materials as you leave our fair city.
I mean, if you take the one he already has, he's gonna have to get another one in your city. So why don't you just let him keep the one he's already got?
Oh god, don't threaten the guards.
Yeah, that's not a good argument. It's like, yeah, he has to give you the one that he has, he's just gonna take it from someone else. Do you really want that on your hands?
Make an intimidation check, Cal.
Oh my
Excellent.
Can,
Oh,
can
hold
Cal
on.
get can Cal get a bonus because Mitty's looking big and bearish?
No, I'll say just a flat roll in this case.
Okay.
Intimidation?
Yes.
Ooh.
There are like 20 riflemen aiming down at us, so I don't feel like they're too threatened by Mitty yet.
They will be once they fire those bullets.
Yeah, you do see some tension rise among the guard corps here. The lady still does not lower the tray, but the patrolman that is has been talking to you, Vinali, will say, as their citizen sponsor, I think at this point it would be in my best interest and yours to warn you that they need to be on their best behavior while in Twain for the time being.
Is there a time we can be on our worst behavior?
There have been a few incidents at the Northern Gate recently involving Beastkin, and suffice it to say that patrolmen like myself will be on high alert while you are within the city, so if you wish to avoid any incidents, be on the best behavior.
Racist.
As for the device, we're looking to sell it here. That's why I want to hang on to it.
Well, fair enough of a plan, but realize that if this is a dangerous item, that attempting to sell it within the city walls also would be a crime.
I'm aware, I just rather not have its nature be spread about as common scuttlebutt amongst the soldiery, if you understand.
He'll take another look at your paperwork here and say, I know the Hondesses. That's the archaeologists up in the climbs, right?
Yes, of course.
Given the nature of their work, understandably bringing things like this in from time to time, but if it causes any problems, things will there will be ramifications, is what he'll say.
All right, famous last word.
Oh god.
So for the time being, you're allowed to keep Numa.
Nice.
But otherwise, all of your mundane weaponry for everyone, the crackle fungus, the fire jelly poppers, you don't have to remove them from your inventory, but know that they are currently not available to you.
Oh, Gem of Cricketing. Do I have to give that up too?
No, they would not look at that as threatening.
Gotcha.
But otherwise, they check your items here at the gate with the patrol. You are allowed in without having to pay the fee because of your citizenship card, Finale, which just saved you guys 2,000 gold.
Whew.
We would have had to sold Numa.
Yeah. That's good, because we don't have Mish here to pay for it for us.
But with one last reminder that situation within the city at the moment is a bit tense as far as Beastkin are concerned. And, it is really impressed upon you, Finale, that if they cause any trouble, it'll fall on your head. But otherwise, you are allowed inside the city, and the guards part, allowing you to walk through the open portcullis.
I'm just going to, like, as we're passing by, just give, like, a respectful nod and just say, I assure you, there won't be any trouble on our part unprovoked. Making sure to include that last word.
Alrighty. As you guys enter Twain, you enter through the wall here, and there's a good couple 100 feet of dry ground, grassy. Actually, quite for those of you that have maybe ever been in the South, almost like pluff muddy, like a very cattail and reed heavy ground. As you pass through that, your first step properly onto the cityscape of Twain is the wooden rise up onto the sort of dock-like walkways that connect. What you see in front of you is a chaotic tangle of almost a bayou version of Venice if it was designed by rats. With
That was
just
quite a sentence.
Yeah,
Already
that
the
needs a
Bayou
big-
version.
yeah, it's multi-tier levels of wooden stilted walkways that carry you over what quickly becomes a thick river delta that makes up the entire base layer of Twain. It is muddy, it is swampy, there is a strong air of peat here. You walk through this rat's nest of wood and iron, and you guys, like Mish, will see as you enter the city these spiral-like metal antennas that stick out of buildings and sometimes the middle of the fucking walkway that periodically lightning just arcs between. There's no safety rails here. There's no like barricade keeping people from getting too close. It's just the citizenry knows to give these things a bit of a berth. You enter the city a bit more properly, and you see it's just as populated as Defiance, if not at parts more so. There's street vendors and hawkers. There's buildings of all types, eateries, stores, taverns and inns, personal dwellings mixed in. There doesn't seem to be nearly as cleanly of a distinction between districts here, where you'll have someone's living quarters literally be on top of someone else's donut shop. These are the Finns of Twain. But as you turn your eyes westward, you will see the Climbs, which is where you actually live, Finale. the western barrier peaks are split within the actual city boundaries of Twain by a number of anthill-like tunnels that climb up hundreds of feet, along with terrace farms and carved into the mountainside homes and dwellings, tunnel systems that go stories and stories above the actual level field of Twain. And some of the biggest structures in the city are actually bolted into the side of the mountain. Chief among them is the Weathervane Spire, the couple 100-foot tower of iron and steel and glass windows that is connected by four several dozen-foot long steel beams to the mountainside, but it is held off perpendicular from it and sort of like stapled into the rock of the mountain. And this giant tower has a number of like the World of Warcraft Zeppelin towers, Drew.
Oh
Like
God, yeah.
like just docks that seem to like go nowhere, and there you see numerous airships parked and tethered. These are not Final Fantasy boats with propeller airships. They are generally of a more individual couple of people, or like at most like a couple dozen people in size. Think of them more like at their largest like double-decker buses going around London. They're not huge boats, but there's dozens of them moored up there, and dozens more that are actively buzzing around the fins in the sky above. Welcome to Twain. This is the city of electricity, the only, the most technologically advanced city-state in all of Alea. It is perhaps not as polluted as Defiance is, but it has its own brand of grime that definitely sticks to your boots down in the fins. But you know from living here, Vanali, that a lot of the upper crust of society lives physically higher in the city, up in the barrier hills, where whether it be a terrace mansion or within the actual tunnel structure where they've carved out elaborate living arrangements that the wealthy and powerful have found ways to make space for themselves here.
Well, welcome to my home.
It's something.
Well, I know it doesn't compare to the natural beauty of the cradle, but it has a charm of its own.
Oh, I didn't mention, there are, in addition to just the antenna, there are streetlights, like modern day electrical lampposts that are placed sporadically about, which are on now given how late in the day it is. And each one of them is complete with like a corona of mosquitoes that are trying to attack it. But lamp lights with like a modern electrical light is illuminating all of your steps here, which is complete departure from other places on the continent.
I've played enough Skyrim. There's some guy that just goes around into every single cave network in the world and just lights up all the lanterns.
I have a mod that turns those off.
As you guys sort of stand there taking the view in, two Sky Patrol members will buzz overhead in a little canoe-like airship with a crystal in the front sort of propeller of it, powering it as it buzzes overhead like some sort of large mosquito. You're in Twain, and that is where we will, for the time being, call the session, as you guys have some reuniting to do and some other figures to meet in the city, which we will get to next week.